At my daughter's 8th birthday party, 10 minutes in, my entire family stood up and left. No argument, no reason, just a synchronized dismissal. My mother-in-law wiped her hands on a napkin, looked at me with that sterile contempt she'd perfected over the years and said, "We've got better things to do." My wife smirked. "They didn't mean it like that," she murmured, but her eyes said otherwise. My daughter sat frozen beside her cake, 8 candles, unlit. Her fingers twisted the edge of her dress. The silence around her was heavier than the air itself. No music, no laughter, just the sound of the front door closing. I looked at my wife. She shrugged. "It's fine, she doesn't care." But my daughter's eyes said she did. I didn't yell, didn't move. I simply picked up the matchbox, lit each candle one by one, and said, "Make a wish, sweetheart." Her lower lip trembled. She blew them out. Alone. And in that flicker of extinguished light, something inside me went dark too. That night, after everyone was gone, I watched her clean the kitchen. Calm, efficient, like nothing had happened. "Why did they leave?" I asked. "They were bored," she said, without turning. "Your daughter isn't exactly entertaining." My daughter, not ours. She said it often, sometimes with a laugh, sometimes like a blade. I stood there, hands in my pockets, letting her words settle. There was no point arguing. She thrived on reaction, on cracks she could widen. Later, I found my daughter asleep on the couch, her party hat still on. The untouched slices of cake sat melting on the table. I covered her with a blanket and looked at the gift bags, expensive toys from her stepfamily, still wrapped, unopened. I knew then that the cruelty wasn't random. It was rehearsed, coordinated. There was something deeper beneath her mother's smile that night, something practiced. And I decided to find out what. I began watching quietly. The next few weeks, she spent more time out. Family dinners, work drinks, appointments. Her phone was always face down. One night she came home late, perfume lingering, one I didn't buy. She was laughing. Her mother dropped her off. They both stopped laughing when they saw me at the window. I didn't ask. I just observed. When she showered, I checked her messages, deleted threads, selective call logs. But one number kept reappearing. Same time each night. A name I didn't recognize. Daniel. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I called an old friend in IT, asked him to trace the number. "She's not careful," he said. "It's registered to her mother's address." Her mother's. That's when it started to make sense. The sudden hostility. The way her family looked at my daughter like she was an inconvenience. Like they were waiting for something. Something to fall apart. I looked at the marriage certificate one night, then at the dates. The math didn't add up. A quiet chill crawled up my spine. So I ordered a paternity test for my daughter, and another for the son my wife claimed was mine. The truth takes time, but it always arrives. The results came 3 days later. I opened the envelope at my desk, the weight of the paper heavier than it should have been. My daughter, mine. My son, not mine. The words printed in sterile ink, clinical, unfeeling. I read them twice, then again. Each time it felt less like pain and more like quiet understanding. At dinner that night, she laughed again. "You're quiet," she said. I placed the envelope on the table. She opened it. Her smile faltered. Her hand began to shake. "What is this?" "The truth," I said. She looked at me like I'd just ended her world, and maybe I had. I watched her crumble. No shouting, no violence. Just silence and the soft sound of paper sliding to the floor. The next morning I called her family. Her mother answered. "You might want to come by," I said. "Your daughter has something to explain." When they arrived, I handed her mother the report. No words, just the truth between us. Her mother's face drained of color. "You're lying," she hissed. "DNA doesn't," I replied. My wife tried to speak, but I cut her off. "You let my daughter sit alone at her birthday table while you celebrated your lies." I stayed quiet. I watched. I learned. And now, so will everyone else. I'd already sent copies to her employer, her friends, even her siblings. Not out of spite, out of symmetry. Some truths deserve witnesses. That night, I took my daughter out for ice cream. Just us. She laughed for the first time in months, a small, honest sound. When we returned home, the house was empty, boxes gone, silence absolute. I tucked her into bed. She looked up at me and whispered, "Is Mom coming back?" I shook my head. No. And that's a good thing. She smiled faintly, closed her eyes. I stood there a long time, watching her breathe. The house felt lighter. Not happy, just still. People call it revenge. It's not. It's correction. And as I turned off the lights, I realized something cold and final. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.